Hey, what's up guys? Professor Tom. We're going to have a look at a whole bunch of hacks to finish straight foot locks. If you're tired of locking them up and not being able to finish your partner, this is going to change things for you. You're going to get those taps or that foot's going to break. Hopefully they tap first. Let's have a look. Hey guys, Professor Tom. Got Guy here. We're going to have some fun looking at some straight foot lock attacks. The straight foot lock is totally legal at white belt. It's totally underappreciated. There are even some people that say, I don't need to tap to a straight foot lock, but there's many records of breakages and horrible injuries with straight foot locks. So let's just have a look at some of the basic hacks we can do to make sure if you get a foot lock, you finish every time. So I'll put my partner Guy here into an ashigarami position. So ashigarami, Japanese for leg entanglement. This is the foundation of all foot locks, okay? So whether I'm trying to heel hook or foot lock or whatever, so much of my entries will come from this position. And let's just have a look at this position and why we're using it like this. Personally, I put my left foot on the opposite buttock line, right, where his hamstring and glute meet here. This helps me clamp my left knee to my right heel, which is going to protect my right heel. Ultimately, he's always looking to push that foot off, okay? And there's plenty of other things we can do when he does that. But I don't like to have my foot here. I go on the other side and I clamp it across. So let's have a look at 3 things that get the lock done, okay? Each of these 3 things should make a good guy tap, okay? Combining them, well, we're gonna get some exponential results. So the first one is the fulcrum. So we're looking at the styloid head of our radius bone here, and we're gonna try to make it touch bone, okay? So what I wanna do is I wanna put my wristwatch underneath his leg. Don't go too far through, okay? Don't go too shallow either on your hand. Right to that bone, on the bone, okay? I'm now going to perform the first, okay, of the ways that we make him tap, okay? Once we've got a secure ashigarami, I'm going to lift up on my hands. Now understand that that high pull is extremely strong. Lifting up your hands like that is a very strong movement, okay? If you Olympic lift, you know how strong a high pull is. So practicing that high pull on his ankle here will always get a tap. You should be able to tap someone with 10%. Just understand what you're doing. You're facing your thumb up towards you, so the sharp part of your wrist is in contact with the ankle, and you are pulling it up, bone on bone. It will get the job done. Now, number 2, I'm gonna have to not hold a good lock to do number 2. Okay, so I'll just put my hand here. Number 2 is all about really using your ashigarami as a control position, a dominant position. We're always taught in jiu-jitsu, get to a dominant control position and that will lead you to a submission. It's correct. So I'm going to view like I'm just grappling Guy's left leg. So I'm going to clamp it tight, okay? So my right heel is doing a hamstring curl, my left knee is doing a forward push, and now I hold my elbow in and I'm gonna put all of my weight through the leg. So look, I don't even have a fulcrum, but watch what happens when you try to put all your weight through the leg here, okay? You get a tap. It's such a dominant control that even the bluntest of fulcrums will now get the job done. So again, I'm clamping, I'm pushing, I'm squeezing, and now I put all of my weight onto it, okay? This is fundamental. Okay, so if you view like pulling your hand up, that's like sawing. If you're gonna saw through a piece of wood. But if you're gonna, you could have a sharp saw and a piece of soft wood, but unless you hold that wood steady with your hand or a vise or something, you're not gonna get anything done sawing. So putting your weight through is like holding that bit of timber while you saw through it. So now, of course, we need to have something third. We need to have some high horsepower backup. And what that's gonna be, and I won't even put a fulcrum in for this, is once we weight the leg, we are going to focus on having good posture, and we're going to push our hips forward as we look up, okay? Now, I'll put a blunt fulcrum in, so I'm just gonna put a nice guy hand here, okay? I'm not gonna put the bone pulling up, but as I weight and I put my hips through, this ultimately is going to add hundreds and hundreds of pounds of pressure. If you can't deadlift hundreds of pounds, you should do some conditioning training. I'm not saying be a bodybuilder or a powerlifter, but just make sure you can lift at least, say, 1.5 times your body weight with a deadlift. That would be a minimum I would recommend. So once you can do that, you can combine all 3. But if you combine all 3, I'll just sort of half combine them all. High pull, weight, and you're not even gonna get close to it. So it's a really good way to control your partner by having all that weight on them, but understand that if you start pulling up and hipping in, you're not going to be able to get it done without the guy getting an injured foot or tapping. So there's one other little hack, and I got to throw a shout out here to a buddy of mine. We were discussing footlocks recently in Dallas. A whole bunch of us got together, and we were looking at our ideas on footlocks, heel hooks, etc. And there was one particular lock that I do as well, but a buddy of mine does it a little bit differently, and I thought it was really amazing. So we'll sort of have a look at that and what he does, and you can apply it too. So I've always been a fan of using my left hand to come through. I grab my bicep and I pull that elbow, and now I can go for my lock. And it's a phenomenally strong lock. I've traditionally called it a Cavacar lock because Rodrigo Cavacar had used it a whole bunch of times in competition. I saw it years and years ago and started doing it myself, okay? So that is a great lock, but one of my buddies does a little bit differently. Let's have a look. He puts his left hand through so his wrist is right on the bone, and he locks it off the same way, just like a bicep choke. But now, to get the finish, he's going to push the foot outwards. So I'm almost turning to my left here. This. You can see Guy's face. If you saw Guy's face, it was like, ah! This is a pain like you haven't felt before. This is different. This is like bone on bone, twisting outwards. This is rough. So be careful with your training partners, okay? So one last time.
No.
As my left hand comes through, I get hold of my bicep, and then I'm pushing out on the foot this way. It is rough, as he would tell you, all right? So there's a little hack that some of you guys can have a look at. I certainly am a massive fan of that one, and I hope those hacks can help you. You had 3 hacks to finish the straight footlock. Practice the straight footlock, guys. It works. Gi, no gi, black belt, white belt, doesn't matter. You can tap people with a straight footlock. But then, if you want to get fancy, you might be able to try that last one. It's certainly a bit of a fun one that I certainly like. All right, guys, take care. I'll see you next time.